All right, this is Cameron. We're going to do another weekend update, and today we're going to talk about plans and finishing the upper level Augusta area and the crossing of the Kennebec River. So the Augusta area is on the upper deck, and the first part of it is East Augusta, and what it is this is where the train comes out of the helix from staging, which is Waterville, and comes out here into the East Augusta, which is on the opposite side of the Kennebec River from Augusta, the town of Augusta. And then we have a big tissue paper mill where they made toilet paper. And I've kind of got some stuff just sitting in there right now as placeholders, except for that one building in the back there, which is the warehouse, which is staying. And then I've done a little bit of the scenery in the front here where I've got the propane dealer and some track ballasting and some ground cover. But I've got all these other pieces that had to be set in here. And then you come down here on the other end, and I've got the scrap yard, and I've got two other businesses that get served off the East Augusta side. And then the real engineering portion that's going to have to come in here is where this bridge goes over the Kennebec River. And right now I've just got a temporary piece in there, but I'm going to have to do a couple of things here. Number one is this all has to come out, and then I have to build the bridge piece, and then we also have to do this portion of the water street that goes under the bridge on the Augusta side. And there's a deck, not a deck, but a through girder bridge that goes right here, and then it goes into a deck bridge across the river here. And I need this piece to be removable, just like I've made these two lower pieces removable, so that if I have to get back in here and redo anything in the electrical box, and then we have a emergency power breakers there and stuff like that. So it has to be removable so that you can get back in there. The two lower pieces, basically, there's on the lower piece is actually just a I have never finished this. There's just a spring clamp holding it in position, and then the upper one, it has a actual block of wood that holds it in position, and then you loosen up two screws and the whole thing drops up, and the bottom one drops down, and that gives you access in here. But right here, I'm gonna have to make this bridge removable. So my thought is that underneath here, I'm gonna have to take this one 1x4 out of the way here, and then the bottom of the bench work up here is 1x3 bench work, and on the other side there's 1x3 bench work, and I have to build something that basically pops in and out of here with the bridge on it. And then up here where it goes across, I'm going to have to make some point here the bridge itself removable on the piece that's in the middle section here, and at some point in here there'll be a joint. And the other issue I have to deal with is that the bus wire goes behind here. So that's the main bus wires for the layout. And then I also have the under the upper deck lighting strips that come in here. So I have them in here right now, but I'm gonna have to move them out of the way while I rebuild this section. But so that's the big challenge there. And then I'm gonna come in here and finish up Water Street in Augusta. Finish building the buildings, finish doing the backdrop buildings, finish doing Water Street where it runs up over the main line here, and I have to do the freight house driveway and area in here in this scenery right here. So I started laying down some fast and final, and I used half of a big bucket of it here. I'm gonna have to go purchase another bucket and finish up doing the roads. The other thing I'll do before I do the roads is come in here and lay in the plastic strips, so the road will go in here, and then there'll be a base put in here where all the buildings, and then there'll be sidewalks. And then I'm gonna have to build up this road that goes up here across, install the plank crossing there and there, and I'm still not sure how I'm going to do the backdrop, whether it's going to be just these flats, which it probably will be with a street going in front of them. And then over here, where these flats are right here, I have a nice flat backdrop piece that's going to go in here, and It's, I don't even remember who the manufacturer is now, but I'm gonna construct that, put there, and then there is another building that is actually the industry that's served on this side that will be going up against here, and then its actual front doors are down here on Water Street, but the back side is actually elevated and had the spur that went behind it. And it was some kind of manufacturing plant. I haven't been able to determine what it was, but if I can't find it out, then it'll just be something that has box cars that come in and pull out and provide materials. And then I also have to put a backdrop piece here out of fiberboard, which is also what you have to do down here in Brunswick, so I can finish up Brunswick. And so that's the plan. That's what I'm going to start working on. I've put the protective covering over here because I did the lower level scenery before doing the upper level scenery, so that I don't mess it up any more than I already have. It is protected while I work in these upper levels. So that's the weekend update. Nothing to show new other than, well, I guess there is something new. I did finish up all the tree planting up here in the back behind the Augusta yard. So I'm really happy how that came out. And what I've done here is you have the super trees in the back here, the actual tall ones, planted. And I spaced them out enough so I don't have to spend every tree up in here getting planted in. But as you get down here to where you're looking at it, in the front here is when you make super trees, you get all these little pieces and parts and stuff that fall off of the branches, and I use those as this foliage at the ground level to hide that, so you can't see all the way straight back in to where the trunks are of the trees in the background. And I really like how it comes out. I've done that in several places on the railroad here, and it makes a very convincing tree line. And as you go along most of the places here, if it's not right along the side of a road like the interstate or something like that, you can't see into the woods. You got that lower shrubbery in the front of it, and that's all growing up, and then you've got the tree line behind it. And the last thing, I think I've talked about this in a video way back, is I've got the main state capitol building dome. You can see up above this tree line, and I've got to actually print that out and put that up in the back there too, and that'll give you a little bit more. You'll know it's a capitol building just because of the way the dome looks, and then give you a little context of where this is. So this is going to be the end of the weekend update, and what I've done this weekend so far is I have taken the brick DPM structure that I made this long structure with and had just kind of sitting up there, and I finished the structure, did the mortar and the bricks, put the glass in the windows. I've got some other things that are kind of come off of it, some stacks and some duct work and dust collector and stuff that'll go over in here. And then I have to do that and take this other building and set them up against the back base. But I also had behind it these flats from Radical Flats. So I'm going to bring them all the way to the end here and leave them as flats. Where it says King Mill there, I'm going to take that and replace that with a sign that says Statler Tissue. And then we'll have the boiler house. I'll finish doing all the brickwork and the detailing of that. I've got a new water tower. I've got to put a roof on a water tower. And I think that'll finish the scene up, and then I can go back in here and put all the rest of the detail work and ground cover in there and run some more piping from that silo into the building and stuff. But it's taken me most of this weekend to work in this structure here. You can see where I got 1/4-inch foam core behind it, and then I was able to put a corner on it here so you get a little bit more relief on it other than being flat against the backdrop. And this is a busy industry on the railroad. It was switched twice a day in actual, when it was in business. The factory's now gone and torn down. But it's a big business on my railroad also. And once I get that done, I get to come along here and work on Kennebec Journal building and Kennebec beverages, and then O'Connor scrap, which will be right here. And that water tower's just sitting there. I don't know where that's going to go yet.